One way or another, no one, none of us, are making it out of this video, dead or alive. Hello and welcome to Lazy Universe Movie Review. I'm your host, Lazy Universe, and when I'm not trying to recuperate after my phone glitched out and I accidentally destroyed a top 10 video that I really wanted to do. Yeah! After that happened... Look, if you want to know, I was doing a top 10 Power Rangers Zeo episode, and I was just a little over 15 minutes, and I was just discussing each individual episode, and every now and then making jokes, but then my phone decided to do this to me. So not only is the video just gone and destroyed, not just that, but it's that the fact that everything that has been worked on for that video, it's just gone. The file must have been glitched and the phone just fucking destroyed it by itself. I don't know. It's just gone. So I'm still trying to recuperate after that. So that video will probably be made in the future, maybe like next month, maybe in March. I am not going to try to do it again, just to let you guys know. So anyways, I thought it would be due time that I would talk about Lupin the Third, Dead or Alive, a film that I was kind of subexcited about reviewing, and you know what, I think I actually will talk about Lupin the Third, Dead or Alive, and just try to get to it as quickly as possible. And this probably isn't my favorite Lupin film. My favorite has to be Castle Cagliostro, but this one comes in pretty close second. So let's talk about the plot, the characters, and the cast that they have chosen in Lupin III, Dead or Alive. The plot consists of Master of Disguise Lupin III escaping with his crew and going to Zufu Island. Zufu Island is where Lupin and the gang want to steal a royal supply worth of gold from the island that they've been hidden there for centuries and or years, only to discover that there is more to the secret island than they have anticipated, and also with enemies waiting for them around every corner trying to murder them and to get them killed. And once we're inside the impenetrable forest, they will realize just how much food gold is really worth and how deadly that a forest can be to reckon with. Dead or Alive's story or its plot is pretty well consistent throughout the entire film, that it just consists of this poor country, Zufu Island, trying to get its prophecy fulfilled of who owns this giant style worth of cash, and it's that, in fact, it's pretty much considerate that this film actually bears kind of resemblance to Black Adam, a film that I've already talked about, except there's no one getting magical powers in this one. It's just by the inheritance left behind from them, and that the villain of the movie really does want. It does kind of sound like something that you would hear in an Indiana Jones kind of style movie, and that's what kind of boring about this film, truthfully. There were a lot of times where I was kind of like tuning out because not a whole lot was happening. It's just the fact that this is a film that just consists of, hey, there's gold in there in hills, let's go find it. Only to discover that they are going to be stuck inside of an inside trap. I don't think that the script and that the plot is very decent, but I do have to commemorate the brilliant casting choice that they decided to use in this, especially since they don't bring back David Hayter to voice Lupin III. Lupin III is voiced by somebody else in this, Sonny Strait, who honestly has to be my favorite voice for Lupin III. I'll admit, the only Lupin movie that I've watched is Lupin the Third, Castle Cagliostro, but Sonny just seemed to understand what Lupin is and what he's all about.
Lupin the Third.
Hey, sorry, boss, but we're taking off.
Yeah? What do you mean you're taking off? And just what am I supposed to do, swim back?
It's nothing personal, boss.
His friend Goemon is voiced by the amazing Mike McFarland, who kinda does a pretty good job with the character. And then there's Lupin's best friend, Jigen, who's voiced by Christopher Sabat, who actually does a pretty good job at voicing Jigen.
That stuff it does almost sounds like the nanomachine is the treasure.
Also, the villain Headhunter is kind of interesting in this movie, but aside from that, there is not a whole lot to talk about with the premise of the movie because it seems like you've seen this premise somewhere in a different film. There is not a whole lot to this film aside from basically mostly the interesting cast and characters that they've done a pretty good job with. But all in all, the female characters in this who are supposed to be kick-ass except for Lupin's best friend, Fujito in this film, she is pretty much a badass, and the voice actress who voices her is completely great in the role. But unfortunately, the entire film as a total just didn't hold up to what I expected it to be because when I saw the trailer for this film, I thought that would pretty much would be pretty damn awesome. And the fact that it's not exactly as awesome as White Castle of Cagliostro, which has a lot of twists and turns that made the viewer think about what was going on in the castle, who the castle person was, and basically what the whole entire rumors behind the castle was in the total. It's not just as interesting as when you see something like, for example, when I already reviewed Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, or hell, even the Batman, which did have kind of like a similar story going for it with a whole big mystery behind it. But this film, if you want to talk in comparison to like some of the other anime films that I like, this did not hold up even as well as I already said Castle Cagliostro, but we'll just say Wolf Children, or even as freaking weird and insane as it was, doesn't even hold up to Aiken or Aiken that I reviewed as well too. It just kind of feels like it's very disconnected to the original story that it was all a part of from the author and creator of Lupin the Third, I almost said One Piece, Monkey Punch, who is unfortunately passed away, and he did so back in, I think, 2018. So this was just not exactly what I was expecting for this film. It doesn't mean that I hate it, it just means that for me, it's just so utterly just kind of like downright boring. I really wanted to love it a lot more, but the story just felt like something straight out of, I don't know, Indiana Jones, for example, or even the Goonies. In fact, it almost shares very much a similarity to the Goonies, where it's just nothing but a humongous, treasure hunt to find this gold. And then yet again, it just compares nothing into that of the Goonies because the ending it's kind of a Lupin ending where he gets chased by the police commissioner that wants him dead because he is an infamous master thief, but it just had nothing to compare with some other anime films that I have seen over the years. This one just feels very, very not as great. And usually, sometimes animated films will does surprise me a lot. This is why I still love animation to this day. But when you're trying to compare it to something like the amazing like Wolf Children that I talked about, or even Spirited Away, or even The Cat Returns, or Howl's Moving Castle. I know those are Miyazaki films, so they're always magical. But even still, it just does not compare to these other beautiful animated films that I have reviewed. Or if you want to go to Disney, just talk about some good Disney films that they have released over the past years. Like Onward, Soul, Luca, Encanto, Moana. These are some great films that each have a different story that just makes it all the more better. And I think that if Disney did a film like this, it probably would be a lot more interesting than what is on the table here. So unfortunately for me, this movie is just kinda dull. Granted, it does have some good action, it does have some funny moments here and there, but it's just not the film that I was expecting, especially for a name of Lupin the Third. Ooh, no. To be honest with you guys, I have no idea why I didn't like this film as much as I did. I can't even begin to explain like what really was the whole entire point and premise behind me not liking this film, but I just couldn't find myself really enjoying it as much as as some other people probably have, and that is unfortunate and it's just pretty much not for me in that total an example. And I really did kind of wanted to like it, but I just couldn't really find myself to do so. And maybe it was me, maybe I set my expectation too high, and then it just collapsed them down on the floor beneath me. And this is why my final rating of Lupin the Third Dead or Alive for Vinyl Pop rating is going to have to be a Nightcrawler. So that's gonna have to do it for this review of Lupin the Third, Dead or Alive. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comment section down below if you have seen it yet, or if you want to, just tell me what your favorite Lupin film that you have seen so far is. Would it happen to be Dead or Alive? Would it Hatchel Kaguotro? Was it the new one that was just released, I think, last year? Let me know in the comment section down below. And also, guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, just to let you guys know, the top 10 favorite Zio episodes will be up. I just don't know when. You just have to give me time because that just basically kind of destroyed my self-esteem just all right at that moment. So, just give me some time. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time on the next Lazy Universe movie review. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time.